Hi everyone, Jane here. In this video that I put together, I will be sharing with you my collard greens that I started last year and hopefully to inspire you to grow some leafy vegetables in your backyard. You don't have to live in a farm. You can grow them in container beds, in raised beds, or in simple containers as you see right there. First, I want to show you what they looked like about a year ago when they were really small, and in between I will give you some updates of how they looked, and eventually what I've done is transplanted them in this container from that little raised bed right there so I can grow other vegetables in there. So stay tuned. These are, I believe, 2 months old now and doing fantastic. The leaves are big and new growth are coming up there and really doing well. I have another one over here. Actually, I have two. The little one finally came up. I have more on the side. Hi everyone, Jane here. Today I am going to share with you guys my beautiful collard greens that I started last year. They are doing wonderful. They are doing awesome. And as you can see, the leaves are a little wilted looking. It's because it is in the middle of the day and it is hot. So for them to conserve their energy, they don't really give too much strength or energy in letting the leaves spread out. They're just kind of, little sleepy, I guess, hibernating, and that's how they conserve their energy, just a little wilted looking. But one thing I want to share with you guys is this one right here. What I will be doing to this collard greens is that I'm going to transplant it in another container instead of keeping here in my container bed. These right here, they're supporting themselves up, they're holding themselves up. But this one, unfortunately, because of heavy wind, it's been moved around a lot, and look at that. See, it's about to just rip out of here, and I don't want that. What I was planning to do is move these collard greens to the right, transplant them in this really big container that I have right here. I will transplant them here and plant something there for fall and winter. I am giving you a quick tour of my collard greens before I do a final transplanting of my collard greens that I have growing in this raised bed into their own little container. This one I've transplanted it, I would say a week and a half ago. This collard greens right here was growing sideways like this thing is doing. What I've done is I pulled it out, transplanted it, have this little branch right here, tied it up right here, and this thing was growing this way at first, but now it's finally going upwards. This one just fell over. I thought it died, but check it out, it is growing. So it's growing upwards. So what I need to do is transplant this one also today so that I can train it to go back that way, to grow upward once again. Now this one, this big one, look how great this one is. It is, wow. I did not expect these collard greens to last this long, but this thing is constantly producing new greens, and look how healthy they look. I don't spray any bug spray. I don't use any chemical fertilizers. All I've used is my topsoil and organic compost, and now and then I would water these with my worm castings liquid, which is really awesome. So thankfully that my collard greens are still growing. So I will continue to add into this video once I've transplanted them in their own container. Here's the final addition to my collard greens video of me transplanting my collard greens into their own containers so that I can have some free space in my container beds where I can grow some more leafy greens. Now here, this one right here, I transplanted early this morning and they are all doing wonderful. So far no one seems to have gotten hurt from me just removing them from the container and try to get as much of the roots off. And I know I did damage some roots, but these collard greens are very, very strong. They are doing wonderful. This one right here, as you can see, the bottom part is turning yellow, which is okay because when I transplanted this collard greens, it had a lot of leaves. And usually when you transplant a plant, it does go through a stress period, and one of the signs is that the bottom part will start to die off, the leaves, which is okay because right now it's concentrating its energy on the newer leaves right here, and especially on these ones. These are the baby leaves, and they're not affected by it, so that is what I'm more concerned about. So the bottom part is okay because these are much older, so if they turn yellow, they die off, it's okay. So yes, I'm really happy about that. These right here are my red Russian kale. I also decided to go ahead and transplant them in the containers, and I am, for this year and maybe for next year, I am gonna try to see about growing more vegetables in containers, so that way I can move them around, and they seem to do just fine, and hopefully they continue to produce leafy greens for me. Oh, on the other side right here, in here I have a few more leafy greens growing in a small container. This one right here is my dwarf blue curled kale, and these as well. These right here are also more collard greens, just planted them in a container. Right here are more of the curly kales. Now this one's curly kale, this one is dwarf blue curled kale, which is really interesting. They do look alike, but as you can see, this one seems to be more curly than these right here. This one right here is my mustard greens, and I do have a few more mustard greens growing right there, which once they get bigger, I will transplant them in a container. I do like starting them off in a raised bed because there's lots of room for them to spread out their roots, and once they establish themselves, I will go ahead and place them in a container, and that also gives me room to plant more vegetables in here. That is my update for my collard greens, and I just want to say thank you for watching, everyone. Bye.